Alright, demand for celebrations UPC dropping. So in the last couple of days, you see that UPCs are another run of no sales. It's 1 to 3 days of that sales. Then sales did pick up before that. There was a big buy of 18 where it was heading toward $800, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 6 days of that sales. It's still technically heading toward 900. So there's sneaky TCG, which listed these two at 800. Honestly, it's a pretty good price. It's pretty much like $70 off the other prices, and then after that sells, it goes back to 874, and it goes 890, which is pretty close to $100. But right now that there aren't a lot of sales, though I would be surprised if this gets bought up pretty quickly. Um, it's just a really it's just a pretty close to the previous price at the moment. This buyout caused prices to rise, and now this I don't know. A lot of people are not relisting this, despite not having any sales. So right now it's kind of a pretty good deal. For celebration ETBs, demand is still pretty good. It's only about 2 to 3 per day, which is actually a little higher than before. The price still hasn't quite gone back up to about 240, 250. Right now it's about 230. Then it goes to like 235, 250, and we're still waiting for the 30th anniversary to come, to kind of raise a lot of the prices. I probably wouldn't sell my celebrations products right now, unless you think the bull market's gonna end soon, or you kind of need it, or you're just honestly a little tired of having it. But yeah, they'll probably rise more during the 30th anniversary. For Pokemon Center ETBs, they're selling pretty well, about 2 per day, except for a couple of days. You do see at the later in this month, there's less consistent demand. Like there's this from July 29th to August 15th. It's selling almost every day. It's selling about 1 to 3 every day, of like it's just random days of no sales, and then there's like 1 to 3 days of sales. And then we'll see if this kind of remains. And the price is still kind of trying to go to about $400, just like the UPCs. We're just kind of like $10 off the next $100 mark. So like it does go to like a 390 pretty easily, but then getting to 400 is a little harder. The lunch boxes are the collector chests. They are selling. They sell in bursts, and they are selling the last couple of days. So about selling one per day, and these are pretty consistently around 120 something nowadays, like 125. So seems to be the price right now for these. The prices are getting a little more consistent. I think there's a little more opportunity for like some cheaper sales before. You can see some random like 110, 113. So I think people kind of pick them up as they come. For packs, they sold three yesterday, but packs they just randomly sell like 50 packs every now and then. There's this cheaper seller over here, has one pack for about $15, so that's a pretty good deal. And then these Pikachu vegan boxes, which I only track because I saw a lot of consistent demand. About two boxes were sold yesterday after 1, 2, 3, after 4 days about sales. Our Fusion Strike can't be stopped, up $35, and it's at 980 now. And $1,000 is pretty much here. 985 plus 15 is about 1,000. There's 4 boxes under $1,000 now. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they get bought pretty soon. So I'm kind of conflicted on the bull market at the moment. So I am seeing some signs that do feel similar to the previous kind of rise and then like drop. Like a lot of yellow in a row, and then you start seeing some slowdown to see just literally in the graph. It's called the color representation. This block over here has almost all yellow in great quantities, and over here you see a lot of reds. And there's sometimes you see periods of like other yellow before that, and just I think that's kind of I'm not sure that like encompasses everything I'm seeing, but I do see some signs of like some boxes slowing down. I'm not sure if they're like slowing down for good. Like for example, Trailing Rain and Evolving Skies were some of the boxes that really slowed down quite a bit at first. Like Evolving Skies now has 1, 2, 3, 4 days without sales. And a lot like boxes are coming back into the 2400s again. You see 2430, 2450, and then 2500. And then Chilling Rain, having like bouts of no demand, 1, 2 days, and then the price it's kind of like remains pretty stagnant. And I think the the kind of defining thing is more like this happens after a lot of like price rises. Before this kind of happens, and um, we didn't already have a ton of price rises. So we didn't have days of ton. We saw a lot of like demand, but we didn't see the price rises, and that was really weird for a couple of weeks. But I was like, oh, it's probably not coming because too much is being sold. But right now we're seeing maybe like they rose a little too much. Um, the conflicting signs is that now the secret's out that Pokemon is like really popular and like a good way to spark money, and people really want to get to stuff. And some boxes still have good growth. Like Fusion Strike is still selling pretty much every day. If you look at the graph, and sometimes like an average is two per day, and so it's still doing well. Still on its way $1,000. And then it's just like if you see headlines like this, it's like, do you really think people aren't going to target the other Sword and Shield boxes because like, Fusion Strike is one of the most popular ones, and yeah, but it'll like once Fusion Strike gets expensive enough, other boxes will rise. But anyway, to go to some of the other price rises. So, Stadium Flames is another big one. So, I'll get into that later. But Stadium Flames rose to pretty much $300. So, this is 13, that's like 297.99. I did say Stadium Flames is one of the more likely ones to rise. You do see it's in like the 235s over here, and then slowly kind of stagnates to 250, and then suddenly has a price rise over here. But yeah, this seems like the most likely one. People are going to target early Scarlet Violet because they're going to go on rotation. Stadium Flames is like a second favorite out of the first four after Paldea, and so it's just Paldea is too expensive for some people. And then what I'm seeing with other things like, Silver Tempest is still selling pretty well. So these are boxes that are still probably going to rise out of all of them. So three sold yesterday, two sold today. There was a day with no sales. Um, but with that sort of demand, it's like it's bound to rise. Like you see like 465 coming up, just a big chunk of like demand over here. Astro Radiance just slowed down for a day. So one sold yesterday, one sold today. I do hope it rises. There is some stagnation around 400 right now, and then it goes to 410 and 415. So I think it can make it there. It does remind me of Silver Tempest a little bit, where in the last sort of mini bull run, Silver Tempest rose like only like I forget it's $20 or $60, and then it then just remained really stagnant. And then now it's doing fine, but it's taken this long for Silver Tempest to rise. I wonder if Astro Raids has to do the same thing, but we'll kind of see. For Brilliant Stars, the man's still pretty good. It's hard to see because of this big spike over here, but it's still selling on average like two a day. A lot of these days it's been selling like two to four, and then yesterday sold one, other days it sold two. So with that sort of activity, it's likely to go more towards 600. Like 585 is coming up pretty soon. Lost Origin sold two yesterday, and yeah, if you could, like, there's a bunch of like people trying to sell in the 835 to 850s. Um, Once you make a drew that though, it does go 900, but it just kind of depends. But as far as price rises go, unless it's a big buyout, don't really expect lost order prices to really go up a lot, a lot. Mostly be concerned about the demand or like the amount of supply under $900. Among Us Guys hasn't had a sale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. I already mentioned the slowdown. Um, it's starting to retrace back a little bit. It's heavy demand. Chilling Rain also has a sort of staircase level of demand. It's starting to slow down. Like before, I mentioned there's another slowdown. So this is what I mean. Like you see this horizontal bar, like prices haven't changed yet, and so like you expect like a buyout eventually, which did happen. The price rose, but now we've already had that big rise, and now we're like, hey, is it about to level off again? Is it about to do a straight line up and straight line? So I'm not really sure, but right now chilling range is like just consistently under about $600, not really breaking it at the moment. Sword and Shield base, the price hasn't really, it just keeps flip flopping between 600 and 650. But two were sold yesterday, just a little more activity all of a sudden. It seems like, I don't know what the shipping was. People are buying it consistently when it's under 600 nowadays. Before, I think the target price is about 550 or 500. Battle style is still kind of going up. So I mentioned yesterday 17 sold, 3 sold today, and it's heading toward like 255 to 260. Vivid Voltage has been selling about one per day. People keep buying, I think, from the seller. So they've been buying for about 240. So it hasn't quite reached like 245, 250 yet. Dark Displays sold one today. Price hasn't really changed. For the price rises, yeah, Fusion Strike up 35. Evolving Skies is down $70, so it's quite a bit. And False Origin down 5. Dark Displays down 5. Social Base up 10. And Silver Tempest up $1. Alright, Obsidian Flames, yeah, as I mentioned before, it's at about $300 now, so that's 298 right now. So it had that big spike the other day where it rose all of a sudden, and then now it's selling about 2 or 3 per day the last couple of days. And now there's a bunch of price budge up just under $300, but still it's pretty close to $300. Usually Obsidian, once it reaches a price point, it doesn't really drop much. It'll fluctuate a little bit, like $5, $10, but it's usually kind of pretty stable. That's kind of why these big price rises are so surprising all of a sudden. But it seems like people are going after Obsidian. And it's officially up about $14. Twilight and Stellar are up about 5. Surging is down about 10, and SC Base is up 1. But yeah, Stellar Crown, it's sold for at fly at new high at 240. You're just gonna see a lot of boost box to new highs right now. I realized yesterday that the cheapest boost was actually joined together, which I covered in a different video. It's at like 230 last time I checked. And yeah, now a lot of cheaper boost boxes like Scarlet based at 235. Star Coins at 240. Like, which cheap one do you want to choose? These prices are like definitely shifting quite a bit nowadays. Also, Temporal Force at 240. Just harder to keep track of the price points. They're not stable anymore. Yeah, SC Base at 235. Price point's the same. Sold 3 yesterday, and you're just slowly seeing it go to like 240, maybe 238. So there's only 3 over here, and then it's 4 boxes under 238. So it's just slowly rising. It's more of like high tides, phrasal shifts. What's that saying? All these booster boxes are being repriced because people are just looking for the cheapest ones. Paldea Evolved sold 0 yesterday, and yeah, you keep seeing it go back to 375. SoCal TCG seems to have a bunch of cheap ones. So does Pokédex YouTube. I'm still waiting for it to rise to 390 to 400, but I'm thinking maybe we have to wait until Obsidian and Paradox SVDays rise. I think for a lot of people, the price point is just so different that they're willing to just pay for one of the other Scarlet Violet sets. So City Flames, if that goes to like 330, if Paradox goes closer to 300, if SC Base goes closer to 300, then I guess we'll see more Put Evolve sales. Like, we might just have to wait for that long. Temporal Forces at 240. So 2 yesterday's been having pretty consistent sales. Just try and get to like 245-ish. Twilight sold 2 yesterday. It's now about 290. I'm really waiting for like this list to really change. This list has been exactly the same for so long. So it's at 290 now, and then 293, and then 298. I'm waiting until like we see like either the 300 starts to increase, or like these prices start to increase to 293, 295. Not really sure. Surging Sparks sold 3 yesterday, 6 today. There's just these Monkey Ball has listed a bunch of them. You'll just see a lot of random supply of Surging Sparks at the market. So there's 240 here. That goes back to about 249. That wraps things up for this video. I hope you walked away with a better understanding of the market. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more deep dives in the Pokemon market. Tell me what's the next big investment you're considering in the comments. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you all later.